Today we're discussing tech bros and astrology. Just wanted to
Of
make sure I
course.
mentioned this in the video.
We're going to discuss technology and astrology and how we can use astrology to actually see what makes one fit for a career in technology. Okay. And how technology and astrology are linked. As in, I'll tell you the same premise again that we had with stocks, because stocks is something that did not exist when the Vedas or
Right.
when astrology was being, the sutras were being written or the discoveries were being made. So tech is something similar. Okay. The tech I am referring to is the modern day technology, like space, like internet related, like computer sciences, programming.
Mm.
Okay. Mobile phone technology. Right. Now, you being a tech person and you being someone who's done astrology, what do you think? Which planets will you look at to determine whether one has a career in tech or not?
Rahu, Mercury.
So, I will say one thing. Most of the modern world things are coming to us by dint of Rahu. Just
Mm.
like we discussed in stock, windfall gains, sudden events, Rahu, new age technology, okay? Disruptive technology is also Rahu. And if you look at it, mobile phones, very disruptive technology. Probably the most disruptive technology on earth, correct?
Mm.
It's a very Rahu kind of thing. If you look at even nakshatras, which we will discuss today, lunar mansions, which are connected to technology, Rahu has a very big influence. Probably the main planet again. But you're right, this time you said Mercury as well, right? Mercury, Rahu, Mars, and Saturn. All of these planets are very important planets when it comes to technicality. And this technicality can go anywhere. Okay, you could be a martial artist and you could be a very technical person. It's still
Mm.
Mars's domain.
Mm.
Okay. But when I want to say tech, I have seen anything with machinery, okay, automobile, and Mars has to have a relation with it. All right. So Mars, Rahu, Mercury, Saturn. Perhaps
Mm.
the most important planets to have a career in tech. But they're divided, and there are many combinations you will see. So I'll start with the first and the most famous. All right. Which is mobile.
I and one pause there. I said Mercury also because let's say if you take Twitter, that's a communication platform globally, right? Which is
Mercury is
Mercury, and
language.
Rahu is an enabler to it. That's why I said Rahu Mercury when we discussed
You're
phones.
completely correct. That is one combination, yes. Especially for programmers. Okay,
Mm.
since Mercury is speech, it's language, and Rahu
Communication.
presents a foreign tinge and a technical element to it, right?
Mm.
An artificial element to it will be given by Rahu. So an artificial language can be seen by Mercury Rahu combinations. You can find people who have prominent Mercury Rahu in their charts and they will be very good with coding if they try. It's possible these people can be good translators, they're speakers as well, but coding, if they try it, they will be able to understand because
Mm.
Rahu has triggered this person's brain to be able to grab a different way of communication.
Right.
All right. So Rahu Mercury, of course, one combination you see on coders. And another thing, Rahu Mercury is another combination where you see people working with apps,
Mm.
application. Okay.
Yeah.
Because programming will come to the fore. All right.
Mm.
And a programmer understands these odd languages, is able to use them to create something. Okay. And why I say Mercury and Rahu leads to apps, if you look very closely at the sign of Gemini. Gemini is hands in
Mm.
astrology, third house, your hobbies, your skills, how you communicate.
Mm.
Stuck in the middle of Gemini is a nakshatra called Ardra. The Ardra is ruled by Rahu in the
Rahu.
planetary. Combines the powers of Mercurian sign, Rahuvian nakshatra. So Mercury, Rahu, most of the time, people who work with cell phone technology will have a prominent Ardra Nakshatra in their charts.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
they'll either have prominent planets there, okay, like Sun, Moon, or important planets like Ascendant Lord, or any of these technical planets, or there'll be a cluster of planets in Ardra, and the
Mm.
most standard Moon in Ardra. Almost
Mine
always
is Moon in Ardra, so
helpful. Yes, I'm sure. See, and you are good at making apps. You
mm.
understand, right?
Yeah. Even if I
Completely
have a
agree.
karma of let's say matchmaking people with disability, which is Saturn and Venus, I enabled it through Rahu's means.
Very well said. Yes, through Rahu. There you go. And you were able to reach out to people, right? And I'm sure you also, all right, yes, you have Ardhara prominence, but so
Moon in Ardra.
you will also see combinations of Rahu and Mars in the charts
Hmm.
of very technically gifted people. There'll either be an aspect, okay, and the most famous example we have
Elon
is
Musk has it.
Elon Musk.
I was thinking who has Rahu and Mars. But
Okay,
Rahu and Mars, we don't even need to get it. It's like the Tesla, right? Tesla is automobiles is Mars and Rahu is
electronic,
technology. Huh?
electronics. So electronic cars, okay, electronic machinery can be seen from Rahu Mars, and no wonder this guy is so attracted to making electronic vehicles. Okay, this is one combination. Then I first said Mercury Rahu, then Mars Rahu. See how important Rahu is. All right. Then there are other combinations as well where we have seen a person have the influence of technicality in his life.
Does he have this Rahu Mars in his 12th house?
So
Because
there are
I
no
said it because of the
of the chart
space.
online, and the data is not verifiable.
Okay.
So a lot of places you will see in Elon Musk chart, Rahu Mars is in the 11th house.
11th. Okay.
And it's very material technology because it's in Capricorn in his case. Okay. And Mars is extra powerful. So more than a Rahu influence in his activities, you find a Mars influence.
Mars.
All right. That's why machinery is more visible than computers or technology. So
Got it.
machinery more, Elon Musk has more machinery link. All right.
Hmm.
But I'll show you a chart. All right. Where a man has Rahu aspecting three of these planets.
Okay.
And you know, the man is very famous, works with AI, programming, whatever you say. Okay. And all these planets occur in the fifth house. Rahu Ketu are in the 5-11 axis, though the data is not verifiable. But this is happening in the chart of Mr. Sundar Pichai. All the planets I named are sitting together and they're aspected by Rahu or each other. And you can see very clearly the man has a massive career, this or responsibility in the field of technology. Should I share the chart with you?
Yeah, because I wanted to see the Mahadasha and the Nakshatra, Moon Nakshatra.
Thanks to Astro Sage, we get a lot of free data. So all credits to them. This is something we didn't do. But one look at the chart and you start to understand. Even the sun is in a very favorable sign. But look at this. There's Ketu, there's Mercury, there's Moon, and there's Mars. And they're all aspected by Rahu from the 11th house. They also receive an aspect of Shani from the 3rd house. Whenever you see combinations of Shani and Mangal, Mars, that also creates a technical person, even though their profession is not scientific or technical. Like I said, the person could be a fighter. Okay. They could be a fight teacher for all we know. All right. But what would happen is they would have a very, very comfortable time with technical things because Mars and Saturn combinations create a very hardworking and technical person. Okay. One planet is mechanics, the other represents structure. Both of them can give you careers in engineering or in fields which are technical. All right. So here as well, we can see Saturn gives an aspect to
And
Mars.
I'll tell you what makes him the CEO. See, many people may have this aspect, but they may not be the CEO of Google. Is the Jupiter in Mool Trikon because
In Moon.
CEO leadership.
And in the 10th house as well.
That's what
There are
I'm
many
thinking.
placements shared that give this person, that make it very favorable for this person and the career they have. All right. Now you can see this angle, the 4 and 10, and Ardra is involved here. So obviously we know that. We know this person has the dignity of a top consultant at their job. You can see that in the 10th house. This guy is the guru. Everyone goes to him for advice. There you go. We can see his work ethic and how hardworking. And we can see Rahu's aspect here. Is easily able to harness a career in technology.
And Rahu in 11th, meaning his network is also all engineers and
All
scientists.
technical kind of. I've actually seen, yes, with Rahu, I've seen more, like I said, it's more of computer technology. Whereas with Mars, Rahu, I find electricity, electronics, or even aerospace for that matter. With Rahu, Mercury, I've seen more programming, coding, more computer related things. And with Rahu Shani, I've just seen the guy work abroad most of the time. They work with foreigners a lot. And you can see Rahu, Shani in this chart as well is fifth from Rahu. Whenever you have such combinations, right, the person almost always works with people who are out of their own society. They have to work with foreigners because now Shani, Karam, receives an aspect of Rahu, Mallich, foreign energy. Therefore, the person's work is influenced. So, too
And
many aspects for Mr. Pichai to have gone down this road.
yeah, can we just see the Mahadasha if you have it?
Of course. So here you go. And as of now, he is in Venus Mahadasha. There you go. Venus sits with Saturn, receives an influence of Rahu. These are probably the times when he rose to fame in life. And no wonder we have Venus, Venus Mahadasha over here, and all the placements are in front of us. What do you say comes next? Something even bigger?
Like what do you mean in
Mahadasha
terms of
begins Sun.
okay, like that?
Yes, by Brihat Parashara Shastra.
No, I was sorry, I was distracted. I was seeing his Jupiter is retro as well. We discussed Rakesh Junjunwala's Jupiter was retro as well. So it's big, auspicious.
Very
roles.
good if it's in its own sign. Very, it's twice as strong as it normally is. Okay, twice the strength that it normally has. Always remember when a planet is retro, and especially in a man's chart, if Jupiter is retro, okay, that planet, especially in a man's chart, Jupiter going retro, gain extra strength. A retrograde planet acquires extra strength. So that makes the purpose of this person even deeper. I can tell you one thing: Sundar Pichai will always be a consultant. They will not ask him to get up and do anything. And you can look at the chart and understand that the guy does not have to move around a lot. He has to sit and advise. This is the true guru in the workplace. You can see, and you can see a horde of skills on this man, a horde of creativity this person possesses. So no wonder he's very good for his career, because every planet we talked about is linked in this chart. It's just like the stock video where we knew certain houses and planets, if they form a connection, we know the person will deal with stock. Right here, we can say the person will be a technical kind of human being or will have a career in tech. All right. That only happens when a particular energy gets blown out of proportion in the chart, just like over here. You can always notice that in charts of people who have prominent energies in one particular field. You will see some link or the other. Okay. So like I said, what was the link? We talked about Mercury, Mars, Rahu, Saturn. Rahu with its fifth aspect looks at Saturn, seventh aspect looks at Mars and Mercury. Mercury and Mars are also looking at Rahu. Plus Mercury here is with Ketu. Now this will give problems. Maybe Mr. Pichai was not very talkative as a kid. Okay. Maybe he spoke late as a young when he was a baby.
I think he is still introverted. He's very introverted. He's very not like you will not you'll see Elon Musk being very out there speaking his mind. Sundar Pichai does not like go out and do multiple interviews, and which I saw is
for the placement of his Jupiter, Guru is not supposed to speak a lot. कम बोलने से काम हो जाता है. One thing we know for sure is this guy has one energy in loads. Okay, Martian energy is at an all-time high, and you can see an exalted Mars sitting with Rahu. And what does this man talk about most? The planet
space
Mars.
Programs.
Going to Mars. Basically going to Mars. We say Rahu obsesses you with whatever
I was going to say, yeah.
And this guy is talking about Mars all the time.
His desire for like Mars is so strong. Because Rahu is also desire, right? Like mission.
Exactly.
Make it a mission.
And Mars-Rahu combination is the combination for electric vehicles. Or Mars is that machinery, right? Bijli. Rahu is the technology added to it. You combine that and voila, you have a car. And Mr. Musk is making cars, right? Mr. Musk is obsessed about everything in this guy's life is his 11th house.
He also has Saturn-Venus combination, by the way.
I will come to that. These guys were born a year apart, I believe. Mr. Sundar Pichai and Elon Musk. I don't know who came first, but the combination existed at both times.
I feel so good. Like I'll edit this part, but
so you will find this combination a lot in charts of people who have slowly made a lot of wealth. ये wealth accumulation का वो होता है. And look at it's in a earth sign, and in दोनों की सारी wealth इनके self effort से आई है. इन्होंने किसी बाप का पैसा नहीं लिया या किसी का पैसा नहीं लिया. It's all self effort and ideation. And you can see the combination in that. They're
And yes,
very
Buddhaditya Yoga also.
intelligent तो बहुत है. फर्क है ना यहाँ पे. See, he did not have planets like this guy has in Earth. This guy has both planets in Ardra. He has in Punarvasu. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. He has. So Elon Musk has like Rahu's energy in Buddhaditya Yoga, basically in tech. Okay.
In tech.
Intelligence.
And I said Ardra is special for mobile phones. Which company does this guy own? Twitter.
Which is in everyone's phone. Yeah, I get it.
Actually, when I was analyzing both charts, I thought about this. I thought, man, this is a very, very strong chart. Not just tech-wise, but in other ways as well. This is the chart of a very, very technical person. This guy is crazy. I don't want to say it out loud. Crazy in a good sense. Okay.
I'll tell you one more thing. Can you just go to the planet chart?
Please, yes.
So he has Rahu in Shravan, right? And Twitter again is Shravana is more for listening. And Twitter was actually a listening platform, like conversations are done and you have.
And आप कमाल की चीज जानते हो? So the problem with modern day Shravan is that it doesn't know how to listen. It speaks more. So now what does Twitter do? People yap, yap, yap. They don't really hear each other out. Right?
Yeah.
And also a lot of controversy. Controversy is the center of Elon Musk's life.
But also because he is in Rahu Mahadasha right now, conflicts, chaos will come to him.
And
right
look at
now.
the moon in the sixth house. Some blame keeps coming to this person again and again. And sixth house is your daily routine. We know where moon goes. You do something odd and you feel proud of it. I'm damn sure he's done something odd. Sixth house is depth. This guy is in and out of depth consistently. Right? But all that being said, once again, we can see here, Rahu forms connection with Saturn, right? Mars is sitting with Rahu. You can see that. And Mercury is sitting in its own sign in the nakshatra of Ardra with the Sun. Multiple placements to display a career in tech. I've seen with Mars Rahu combination, even if the guy that goes for working in finance, okay, they'll give him something technical to work with. Okay. He will be handling the technical part. I know someone who is in marketing with this combination, but they have to keep touching digital media. Because these combinations will constantly take them there. Okay. And these are the most prominent combinations I've seen. It's Mercury, Rahu, Mars, Rahu. All right. And any relation of Saturn with these planets. But Rahu becomes most important again for any career in technology. Okay.
Okay. Can we spend like 10 seconds on like Jupiter in Scorpio? Does that have any?
Yes. So Jupiter in Scorpio can do one thing. See,
again, retrograde Jupiter. I'm just pointing it out. It's a common theme across.
And in the ninth house, it's a Karak Bhav. So obviously, we can say one thing. Mr. Musk pretty lucky. Okay. And his luck works in ways even he cannot understand. All right. I'm not sure how his relations were with his father, but they don't look too okay. ऐसा लग रहा है देख के कि पिता के साथ बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं बनती है. Is that so in his case?
I haven't looked it up, but I feel also there is some unfixable problem in that place. And it could be not just with father, but with his teachers, with his mentors.
Teacher figures, or with, yes, you're correct. I mean, it's a problem in general.
And I think it's because he never agrees to anyone's ideologies. Like he's very headstrong. He takes only what he thinks fully is, the truth. So I think that's where all that disconnect comes from. Anyway, I know it's not related to tech, but I wanted to spend 10 seconds, sorry, to kind of see if there is anything there that also adds to what we're discussing.
Yeah, so we'll start it. See, to check the dignity of the father. We look at two things. We look at Sun and we look at Jupiter. Sun and Jupiter have a 1-6 relationship in this chart. So a little bit of a trouble, animosity. Now Sun is sitting in Ardra, right? Jupiter sits in the ninth house. What is the signage? Is Scorpio. Scorpio represents things which are hidden beneath the ground. Sun is in Ardra. Possibly his father is also an engineer. And there is an animosity kind of angle with the father. I'm sure he does not have good relations with his dad, is what I feel. I'm not sure. I do not know much. Could be wrong, but it looks like from the chart that there is not a good relation between him and his
No,
dad.
no. I just looked it up. His father was an electromechanical engineer and a
Probably
pilot,
an engineer.
and he owned a mine. So, a Zambian emerald mine.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Though Elon has said that he got nothing out of that entire thing, like I think he ran into some losses and stuff, but I'm just saying that Jupiter in Scorpio is what? Unearthing, right?
Exactly.
Mining.
Something hidden beneath the ground. Okay. And you are also right. I don't think he's in touch with his father or their relations are good. I don't know. If you can check up on that, please do. If anyone who watches our video checks upon that, they can write in the comments. But I don't think he has a good relation with his father. Okay.
We'll check
Sort
it
of
out.
an animosity, maybe a hatred kind of thing, because it's a 1/6 angle. All right. So father says zyada nahi bante. Plus the sun itself is an ardra. So there might be something this guy blames his father for. I will not tell you how I'm saying that. But it's
I'm
ardra.
just reading it up, but you're right.
There's probably
So
ardra. Yeah, so yes, please, please, please. I would love to know.
So Musk told a press company that he was a strict father who raised his children with discipline and ostracity after he engaged in extramarital affairs like his father. Errol and May divorced in 1979, and May later stated that Errol beat her. So his father was also abusive.
Oh, father was an abusive person.
And then the wife, which is Elon's mom, took custody of all three children and moved in with someone else. Like father's not connected, basically. They
Good for
separated.
So, like you said, there is something odd about the connection with the father, that it's either missing or distant or estranged, right? So he is estranged from his father, right? And father was a technical person. We can see with the placement of the sun. Sometimes it's pretty direct. In some cases, you can never figure out what does the father do or what the father is.
But do you recall I said his father has some unfixable problem? I think it is
Problem?
abuse.
And there you go. It's
Because
abuse.
he shot 3 people also in Johannesburg.
Oh my. Okay, now that's very new for me. I'm not well aware of
I
these
just
things.
read it. I also didn't know these things, but when we were discussing
It has to be
tech
there.
and
It has
I
to
saw
be there.
Jupiter in Scorpio, I'm like, there is something there, yeah.
Something has to be there. Okay, this is a position we've dealt with a lot, and unless Jupiter in Scorpio is in a good sign, favorable place, it will give you trouble. So it's still better, still okay the placement he has, but as an aspect of Saturn on it. All right. So I can never be sure. Ketu also aspects it, and Ketu aspecting it, Saturn aspecting it, two malefics, not a good event. All right. Simple analysis can tell us that. You know?
But okay, I'm just saying Saturn, Ketu, Jupiter aspects together also mean someone who's eccentric, who's more spiritual and all also.
Someone who has
Not always.
capabilities that normal people do.
I was going to say, it's not always bad.
A very eccentric guy to people around him, very odd person. But there are voices in the head of a person like this. Okay. भी देखोगे आप Ketu is connected to the Jiva Jupiter. Okay. You can say the person has these abilities. It's a very spiritual combination. The only thing is enemy Venus is also looking at Jupiter, sitting with his very good friend Saturn over here. So all three planets that look at Jupiter are actually not favorable for it.
You got it. The malefic.
So in such a case, we can say the event is more malefic. All right. Had it been Moon looking at Jupiter from Taurus, right, I would have said the different thing. So because we have a lot of charts where Jupiter is in a similar position, but they will not always have these issues, right? Anyways, this is Mr. Musk's chart. A lot of stuff to happen very soon with this guy, and it's all mobile phone technology. Okay.
And Facebook just launched a Twitter competitor.
Just launched Threads, and he's just sued them. He sued them the next day. I think he's threatened until now. Okay. So that's another aspect of the Mars Rahu combination. Is, a little bit of anger it can give to this guy. More than jealous, it's related to aggression, gussa, anger. These are the guys who will not always be angry, but when they are angry, they'll be the vicious kind of. But anyways, I hope, I wish best for both of them. They're very big contributors to the growth of this world. People like this should only be, they should be lauded for their efforts.
Yeah, I was going to say they should be spoken well of at all times.
Like Mr. Sundar Pichai is always spoken well of, and there's a very big thing. His attitude and how he deals with people is quite wonderful. I think it shows
Hmm.
on his face. And Elon Musk is, well, he's the most followed person nowadays. So anything these guys are doing is at at the front of the world, and you can see why, right? This is the age of Rahu, and they have very Rahu oriented jobs and careers and important positions.